In today's video, I'm going to be pinning the Canon M50, the camera that I'm using to record this on right now, to the iPhone 12. I did this video about a year and a half ago with the iPhone 11, and I want to go ahead and update that video. So let's get into it. Yeah. Ooh, it's hot. It is a hot day. Before we get started, I want to get some things out of the way real quick. First of all is I'm going to be recording on auto on both cameras, the iPhone and the Canon M50, not doing any type of tweaking to the aperture or anything like that. The second thing is that I'm not color grading at all. What you see from this camera and the iPhone is going to be straight from those sensors and that camera. I'm not going to color grade at all. For the iPhone 12, I'm going to be using obviously the cameras on the iPhone. I'm not going to use any attachments. And for the Canon M50, I'm going to be using the kit lens, the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens that comes with it. I might use a 22 millimeter pancake lens that I have, that it gives me just beautiful crisp image, but I want to pin it against the very vanilla Canon M50. Is that all the ground rules? Is that it? Let me turn on the AC while I think. And also, before we get started, I know I did the iPhone 11. This year I want to do the iPhone 12, but I also wanted to step it up just a little bit, and I went ahead and I'm gonna do the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So the best that iPhone has to offer versus the Canon M50. With all that being said, I'm at my local park and I'm gonna be practicing social distancing, of course, and let's see how these cameras do. Let's see how they compare against each other. Let's get into the video, come on. All right, and the first one we have going on right now is the Canon M50 selfie. So doing vlogs, I'm using the 15 to 45. I can zoom in if I need to. Don't want to, I want to get a nice little wide view, but this camera is, I feel like it's awesome for vlogging as well as just day-to-day YouTube stuff because of the screen. I can flip out the screen to the side. Again, it's fully articulating, so I can flip it out to the side and I can see exactly if I'm in frame, if I need to pull out a little bit so I can get more. It does weigh on my hand a little bit, but you know, you might be able to get this camera and use a wider lens so that you can get more of the of yourself in the frame. I am using a Rode Mini, I believe, with the wind stopper on the top, so the audio should be nice and clear. If without the wind stopper, you would be able to hear a lot of noise. It's not a terribly windy day here in Miami, Florida, but you can hear some wind. Some wind is coming in. So this is the vlogging style of the Canon M50. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the iPhone 12 as far as vlogging. Now here is the iPhone 12 vlogging. I'm not using any gorilla, I'm just holding it straight. I'm pulling out as far as I can, and you can see that I can get a lot more of myself in the frame because of the wide camera on the front of the iPhone. Now I am using the front camera of the iPhone, so I am able to see myself, but the really good cameras on this phone are going to be in the rear. So you have to kind of pick, do you want to use the front facing camera? If it's a well lit day like this, it'll do pretty well, but the rear cameras are the actual like really good cameras on the iPhone. So this does work if you're outdoors vlogging on a sunny day, if not a lot of natural light, but if it gets dark, it might struggle a little bit because the front facing camera can't do what the rear cameras do. So as far as vlogging, this is pretty good. I can see myself centered. It's not bad. The image stabilization should be pretty good. And we'll take a look at image stabilization a little bit later on in this video comparison. So that is the front facing camera. Let's go ahead and try the rear camera and see if it does any better. All right, and this is gonna be the rear camera. This is gonna be the normal, I believe, wide angle, and then they have the super wide angle that we can test on a little bit, but this is gonna be the normal view. Again, I can't see if I'm centered. I can't see if I'm cutting my head off in the picture or something like that. So this is the downside. This is gonna be the best camera to use to record yourself anywhere, outdoors, indoors, doesn't matter. But again, can't see myself, so I don't know if I'm in the frame. So let's go ahead and take a look at the super wide angle, and that will be able to fit my whole frame in the picture. And this is super wide angle. Check it out. I can see myself. Everything is centered. Everything is good. Let me go ahead and take a seat here on this bench, and you can see that everything is very clear. So if you use this lens, it'll actually be pretty good. So again, I'm not using any Gorilla type of tripod or anything like that. I'm just holding it with my hands, just casually walking. You can see the image stabilization, you can see the image quality, you can hear how well the camera handles outdoor voice with wind and all that. So that is the video comparison. All right, and we're back on the Canon M50. Again, I'm using the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens using a Rode Micro with the wind stopper. You can probably hear how more clear my voice is on here versus the iPhone. So they do sell some attachments where you can get something like this, where you can put it on the iPhone, and that actually would be really nice if you're gonna go the iPhone route. For YouTube, either or is really good, but I really do like having the articulating screen and having the best camera lens that I can possibly get for this camera, which is not this one, but you know, I have that option to purchase additional camera lens. With the iPhone, you're stuck with whatever they come out with, which whatever they come out with is still pretty good, but you know, you have the option to do that with the Canon. So let's go ahead and take a look at just recording walking, and we can see image stabilization. Now with the Canon M50, I did turn on this image stabilization. The lens, I do not believe is image stabilization, but the camera does it with their software, as well as the iPhone. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Canon M50 first image stabilization test. Let's get it. And here is the Canon M50 image stabilization test. I did turn around the mic so I can pick up my voice pretty well, and I'm just casually walking as I'm recording my surroundings. Check out the beautiful day here. Could have asked for a better day to record this video. Definitely a nice little breeze. Here we go. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna be walking around. You can see the color reproduction on the grass itself, on the trees, and it looks pretty accurate too. Canon has always had pretty good color science, and with the Canon M50 there's no exception. Check it out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a light jog to test the image stabilization. So I'm just gonna go up to that tree over there. You ready? Light jog, testing image stabilization. Alright, that's about it for me. And there is the image stabilization on the Canon M50 using the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens. You guys let me know in the comments, what do you think? Now let's switch over to the iPhone. Let's test that one out. Alright, and we're back on the iPhone, and man, the colors on the screen looks incredible for a phone. We've come a long way since the first iPhone, but check it out. Now I'm just casually walking, and you can see the image stabilization that the iPhone does. And as far as video, I kind of think that iPhone is matched by none. They're the masters of video. There are other companies like Samsung that get really close, but as far as video, I just feel like, I don't know what kind of wizard, Harry Potter, Gandalf magic they're using, but man, their video just looks so good. Some might say it's oversaturated, and I get it, but it does look really, really good. Like even in low light, it does extremely well. Today, you know, we're not at low light. Today it's, as I have a tiny little spider on me. Let me bat that out, but there we go. We're not low light, but we got a pretty good sunny day here. So here we go. And then now I want to test out the jogging or yogging, depending on where you're from, on the iPhone. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold it with one hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and lightly jog, just like I did on the Canon M50. So you guys, I'm getting a workout for you guys just to test this out. Hit that like button, help me out. Check it out. All right, that was a longer jog than I anticipated, but there is the jog test, and there we go. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but both footage are going to be 1080p at 30 frames per second, or 1080p at 24 frames per second, one or the other. I believe the iPhone is 30 and the Canon M50 is at 24. I'm a little winded there, guys. All right, there you go. That is the iPhone test. Now let's actually take a look at 4K on both cameras. Let's go ahead and switch it up. So here is 4K 30 frames per second. I do not believe the iPhone has 24 frames per second in 4K, so you have to record it in 30. And here's 4K 30 frames per second, and just from the screen it looks phenomenal. Just walking back and forth here, guys. The sun is out here and it is toasty. So I'm just gonna do a nice little walk here for you guys. A little bit, you can see the image stabilization, you can see the image quality of the 4K. This is gonna be great. Let's go ahead and do the super wide angle. You can check it out, the super wide angle. There you go. The 3 cameras on this iPhone 12 Pro Max is just phenomenal. They just did an amazing job. Check it out. If you're a vlogger and you're doing outside vlogging work, this is pretty good. It even picks up my fingers and it's not even close to the to the camera. That's crazy. There it is. Let's go back to regular view. Now let's check out the front facing and see if it's able to do 4K for vlogging. Let's check it out. And here is the front facing camera in 4K 30, and I think it looks pretty good, guys. Check it out. And again, the benefit is that I'm able to see myself on the screen, make sure I'm centered, but the camera isn't as good as the rear cameras. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. Check it out. But as I'm walking, you can see the image stabilization. For some reason, I have little spiders on me. I don't know what I walked on there. They're very, very tiny, but hopefully they're not venomous. But here we go. Check it out. Image stabilization, as well as color reproduction, how clear 4K is, and all that good stuff. Check it out. Actually, let's take a look at the Canon M50 4K when you use it to record yourself in vlog style. And you're gonna see something really bad. Notice how wide I can get, up to my chest kind of, when I zoom out as much as I can for vlogging. Now take a look at the Canon M50. And here is the 4K on the Canon M50 when using it in vlog. And you can notice 2 things right away. Notice how it's struggling to find focus on my face. The autofocus, not as good as the dual pixel autofocus. And on top of that, look at the crop. I'm holding this camera as far away as I can, and it's barely getting my face in the picture. So check it out. This camera is not good for 4K. Do not get this if you want to do 4K. If you want to do 1080p, pretty good. 4K, no. Alright, and here we have one last side-by-side 1080p at 30 frames for both cameras. And you guys can be the judge. As I'm putting it side by side here, you can see which one you would call the winner. Now the audio obviously is coming from my Canon M50 using the Rode mic, but the picture is from the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the Canon M50. You can go ahead and see that both of them do a phenomenal job, but you might preference one over the other. Comment below who you think is the winner between these two cameras. You have the iPhone 12, that is a phone, and you have the Canon M50, which is a mirrorless camera. Check it out. Comment below who you think won. Alright, and now that you've seen the footage from the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the Canon M50, comment below and let me know who do you think has the better image quality. Now, just judging from the practices I've done today and the tests, I can tell you that the iPhone 12, in my opinion, came up on top as having a better image quality and a little bit more vibrance to the actual picture. But a Canon M50 with a better lens like the ones I'm using right now, the 22mm pancake lens, could actually produce a little bit better image quality depending on the time of day and how well you use that lens. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now that if you have an iPhone 11, 10, 12 and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, go ahead and use just the camera that you have. You don't even have to have an iPhone per se. You can have Android, whatever phone's in your pocket. When I started with a Samsung Galaxy S8, and I was using that for a while until I invested in a digital camera like the Canon M50. But if you get an iPhone like this one and you put it on a tripod, they sell attachments that you can actually put a mic hot shoe on top, or you can attach the mic to the side of it to get a little bit better audio. You can even do that. If down the line you think that you need to invest in a digital camera to up your game, your YouTube game, like I did, then the Canon M50 is a great starting camera. They did revise it. There is a Canon M50 Mark II now, but it just makes very minimal quality of life adjustments, which it's only $20 more expensive than the Canon M50. So if you're looking to get the Canon M50, maybe get the Mark II. Like I mentioned, it's not a huge upgrade. It just makes very small, minimal upgrades to the camera itself. Alright, and as always, let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. Also, let me know who you think has better image quality and how's my mic sounding now that I fixed that popping sound. And if you like this video, help me out with a like and a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm checking the YouTube algorithm and the analytics, and over 98% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed. So please do me a favor and subscribe so you don't miss content like this in the future. I am working to add a lot more content to my channel, so stay tuned for that. Like and sub, that will help me out a ton. In conclusion, if you got one of these, it's an excellent camera to start going. Just press record your videos, upload, and get started on YouTube. Later on, if you want to update to something like this, like the Canon M50, you can do that as well. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.